right, so it's not recording. There it goes. All right, so welcome. We are going to just go ahead and get started. So we have a few announcements. The Emerald Dash has just ended. So for everybody that is working and hustling towards Emerald, you have until Thursday or Wednesday really at midnight to solidify Emerald so you can be part of the Diamond Mentorship. I will be posting an application. If you're interested in that Diamond Mentorship with 6 other leaders, we're going to be just kind of intensively going through this thing for 4 weeks. And the goal is to get you Diamond by that 4 weeks. If you are interested, keep a lookout for that application, but you do have to be a current paid Emerald. You cannot just be a lifetime Emerald. We will have a new coach call tomorrow at 5 Eastern Standard Time. So any of your new coaches, or if you are a new coach, make sure that you're getting on that. If you're my personally sponsored, I'll shoot you over an email and remind you because I know how spacey I am. So just try to make that if you can. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get on into it. All right, so we are going to be going over the Two Bunnies, which is inviting and growing your network. And I say the Two Bunnies because I thought it was really clever. If you don't know 2B Mindset, 2B Mindset's a nutrition plan with Beachbody, and it's the Two Bunnies. And the Two Bunnies to losing weight for her is veggies most and water, water first, veggies most. And I was like, well, the exact same thing for our business is inviting and growing your network. They have to work hand in hand. You can't just do one and expect it to all flow simultaneously. You have to be inviting as you're growing, because if you're only doing one or the other, if you're only inviting, you're going to run out of people. And if you're only growing, you're not going to have anybody to invite. All right. So let's go. So where do we find people to invite? Because all the time I have my coaches saying, well, I don't have anyone to invite. Or I don't have anyone. And I'm like, we all have people to invite. It just kind of takes a little bit of digging and really, getting out of our comfort zone to invite these people. So I'm going to kind of go over the process of how I find my people to invite. So I always start with people who've commented on my transformation photos. So anybody who's commented on transformation photo or one about me talking about the boot camp, I will shoot them an invite. Then, and I'll go over how my invites look after this. Then I will move to my photo likes. So if somebody's liked my photo, then I'll also send them an invite. And if I still need to send invites, I will go to the people who have viewed my stories, and then go to invite all my viewers. And then at the beginning, I would run out there too. I would go to my followers and type in a letter, like I would type in A one day, then B one day, and then just work my way through. And by the time I get to the end of the alphabet, guess what? It's about damn time to go back around. So that's kind of the process that I followed when I was first growing. I don't necessarily have time to go through the alphabet anymore, but when I was first growing, I had plenty of time because I didn't have that big of a following. And then I would also send messages to people who are newly following me. So I used an app called Followers. And it's on iPhone. There's tons of follower apps, but it'll show you everybody that's newly following you. And I would always shoot them a message, getting to know them, telling them about me, and then asking them a question about their self. All right, so let's go into the ins and outs on inviting y'all. Let's not be creepy. I know people are like, oh, I don't want to use scripts, or I don't feel comfortable about this. And I urge you to scroll up, because I probably invited you also. And you didn't feel creepy about it or think anything about it because you were watching. And the same thing for these people that are liking your photos and commenting and showing interest and watching your stories. They're watching also, so they're not going to feel like you're being icky or salesy or creepy, especially if you're just coming over genuine, like you were interested in them joining you. So my first thing is, don't be against scripts, but definitely personalize them. I would not say use my script verbatim, or use Ashley's, or use another coach's scripts verbatim. I would say use them as an outline, but twist them into your own words, because the point of a script is it to sound like you said it, right? To sound like you said it, not Allie said it, or Ashley, or some other top coach. It needs to sound like something you would say. Don't use hey girl. That's like my biggest pet peeve. If somebody says, hey girl, because that just sounds so generic and so cheesy and so salesy. I used to do it, but I found a lot more ratio, like turnover ratio, when people are like, when I said, hey Susan, or hey Karen, or hey Ashley, instead of hey girl. So just take the few seconds to personalize. Most everybody's name is in like their bio section, so not their username, but if you go to their profile, their name is right there. And if their name isn't there, then say something like, hey babe, or hey love, or something that sounds normal to you. I just find that hey girl has gotten a really bad rep. And people, if they see the word like hey girl, they're going to automatically like shut down. Short, sweet, and to the point is the best policy. I don't want you to show up and throw up. And what I mean by show up and throw up means that you're going to like come and talk to them, but give them like every single thing and the kitchen sink at the exact same time. Like you're going to talk to them about Beachbody on Demand, the program, everything like right at the same time. And that is really like overwhelming. There we go. It's super overwhelming and people will shut down. So I will go over like my top points for creating invites, but just don't show up and throw up. Don't give up everything at once. You want to have a natural conversation. And if you're sending this like long email length message, that's not going to be a natural conversation. They're going to read it and say, okay, well, there's not really a point in me replying. So I'm just going to like shit off, right? So here are some examples of mine, and I'm going to go over the top 5 points for you to construct your own invite. So here's one. Hey, Erin, how are you doing today, girlfriend? I wanted to thank you so much for liking my transformation photo and showing your support. I wanted to reach out and extend an invite to my virtual fitness community. It was in the same community that I was able to lose 100 pounds last year. Does this sound like something you're interested in learning more about? If not, totally cool. Just did not want to miss the opportunity to reach out. So I want to kind of go over and dissect this with you so you can create your own invitation. So the first thing is I always start with their name. Duh, we just went over that. And then the second thing is I always ask how they're doing. And so that's showing interest, like showing interest in what they're doing. The third thing is I always let them know what is prompting me to send this message. So is it they liked my photo, they commented, they watched my story, what prompted me? So they know that I'm not just going through some random hashtag and inviting them, right? They know that they did something to prompt this invite. Then the fourth thing is showing them the invitation. It's the actual invitation to the boot camp. So letting them know that you have something that they can join of value. Then the fifth thing is proof that the product works. I was able to lose 100 pounds in one of these, but maybe yours is I was able to gain so much confidence, or I found everlasting best friends, or I found, freedom in my food. Whatever these boot camps have helped you, that's what you're going to fill in there. And then the last part is giving them an out. So I guess that's 6. Giving them an out, letting them know that it's okay if they're not interested. Let me know either way. And so that means if they're not interested, so like here, if they're like, no, I'm just supporting, you can keep a conversation going. So if they're saying, no, I'm just supporting, I would be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the support. It literally means the world to me to have support from you. Are you on your own fitness journey? Oh, I'm doing keto. Okay, you get to start a conversation. You get to know them. You get to kind of personalize and make them know that you don't just care about a number on their head, that you actually care about them as a person. So if anything you get from this is ask a lot of questions. Ask questions, and when they say no, ask more questions. Let them ghost you. Let them have them like go for no. You want to ask so many questions and engage so much that either they have to ghost you or tell you no, but you're not leaving them alone even if they've said no to you. Okay, so I'm going to go over those 6 points again. The first one is always start with their name, or like girlfriend or something like that if their name's not available. The second thing is asking them how are they doing, showing interest in them. The third thing is letting them know what prompted you to invite them. Did they like, watch, story, comment, whatever? The fourth thing is letting them know what you have to offer, inviting them to boot camp, inviting to the coaching opportunity. The fifth thing is showing proof that the product works. So what, it was in one of these that you were able to find confidence, lose weight, blah, 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 whatever. And then the sixth thing is giving them an out, letting them know that there's no pressure. Because when people feel like there's pressure for them to answer in a specific way, they'll shut down. I see it time and time again. It happened to me. All of these pointers are from things that I've learned the hard way. So letting them know that it's okay either way, but just let you know. All right, so here's another option. Hey, how are you doing today, girlfriend? I saw that you stopped by and liked my transformation photo. Thank you so much. I was wondering, were you interested in learning more about my virtual fitness group or just supporting? Either way is totally cool. I just didn't want to miss the opportunity to reach out to you. So here's the exact same thing. It's just a little shorter. I've still got, the name, asking how they're doing, letting them know what prompted me, and the invitation, and then the out. I kind of omitted the proof that the product works. But if, once the conversation goes, I can bring that in there. And then here's an example of my coaching invite. I still feel really awkward about coaching invites. Like some people don't. I still feel awkward about it. I'm working on it, and we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. Inviting to the boot camp, I can do all day, every day, but the coaching opportunity kind of like makes my chest break out and get all red and blotchy and yucky. So, but we're working on it. So my invitation kind of comes off awkward, but it's because I'm awkward about it in real life, and I want it to be transparent. So mine is like, hey, Becky, how are you doing today, girlfriend? I know this is completely out of left field, and if this comes along as awkward, it's because like I never do this, like ever, but I have literally came back to your page 100 times and I'm so inspired by you. Have you ever thought about doing what I do as a coach? Honestly, I think you would be amazing. And so it's giving them, like asking them if they've ever thought about it and giving them the kudos to saying like, girl, I already thought you were, like, you'd be amazing. And then also letting them know that this isn't just something you always do, because I don't always send this invite to coaching. It's just like if somebody really stands out to me. And so that's another option, to send coaching invites. Y'all, we can send boot camps all day long, but at the end of the day, coaching is what really transforms lives. The boot camp's amazing. It helps us get in the best shape possible. But the coaching opportunity is what allows financial freedom. It's what allows this flexibility or that possibility to dream, and also that accountability that it makes it our job not to fail. And so we're not doing a service, not inviting people to this. All right, so I want to kind of go over the different types of invites, because a lot of people think that there's only one type of invite, right? That's sliding into somebody's DM and saying something. But that is so not true. There are so many different types of invites. And so I'm going to kind of break all these down and kind of let you know what your conversion ratio is going to be with each of them. So the first one's public invites. So the public invite is like on your stories, right? You are talking about inviting, you're talking about your boot camp, you're asking people if they want to join you. You're, talking and you're doing like a poll or something like that. That is a public invite. Maybe you're sitting here on your phone talking about the accountability and how you wouldn't have woke up this morning if it wasn't for your girls in your boot camp, and asking people to join along with you. That is kind of your direct public invite, and I call it your blanket invite. That means you're blanketing that invite on top of all of your followers, hoping that somebody wants to get cozy under that blanket. Now, your public invites are not going to be a high conversion ratio. You may, probably 1% of your public invites are going to convert at the beginning. Towards the end, when you build up that reputation and you build up that stability in your business, they're going to convert more. But like right now, my public invites only convert about 15%. And the rest of them come from the direct message invites. So they're not a very great source to rely on, but they're a great source to get conversations going. Most of the people will not buy on the first, the second, the third. It takes 13 interactions for somebody to purchase from you, but it's a great way to get that conversation going so you can start establishing that relationship. The second is call to actions, like dropping an emoji, dropping your email, something like that, giving somebody an action to follow. So like you're making a post, right? It's your transformation and you're telling your story and you're like, if you want more information for my boot camp, drop an emoji below. This is a call to action. It's kind of like a public invite, but it has a an actual action that is associated with it, where the public invite is just talking about it and saying, you can join me if you want. Now, the call to actions are a lot more, they convert a lot more. Probably instead of the 1%, you're looking at the 5% at the beginning, upwards of 25 to 30%. But again, those take times to cultivate. All of these take times to cultivate. Like, it's just like freaking yogurt or something. You got to culture it, and then it doesn't just turn into yogurt. I know that was a really bad analogy. Just kind of roll with it. I'm thinking about food because I'm on this cleanse, you know. I'm not eating right now. It's squirrel brain. Okay, back to here. So call to actions. All I see is Jackie's face going like, what in the fuck is Allie actually doing right now? But yeah, so call to actions are a really great way to get that conversation going again and inviting multiple people at one time. Now, I do want to urge you though, you can be doing these call to actions all day long and not get one emoji drop. That is not a reflection on you. It's just a reflection on people that are not ready yet. At the beginning, I never got an emoji drop. I never got a person vote on my poll. I literally voted on my poll, so it made it look like people actually voted on my poll. Anybody else do that? No, just me. Okay, well, that was me. So like if somebody clicked it, I didn't want them to know it was 100% their answer. So I would like click one and then like, you know, so it looked like somebody actually voted. So people aren't going to do these at the beginning. You have to think, it's like, okay, I'm on my Instagram stories and I'm saying, hey y'all, I'm having a barbecue next weekend. Come on over, bring a side dish. I hope to see you there. And I'm inviting like everybody on the block on my Instagram stories. Well, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I would feel awkward about showing up. I wouldn't feel like I was really wanted or invited. But if somebody slid into my DMs and physically invited me and say, hey, Allie, love you so much. And I would love for you to come to my barbecue next weekend and bring a dish because girlfriend, I cannot wait to see you. That makes me want to go more than somebody saying, hey, everybody, if you want to come to my barbecue, I'm having one next weekend. So you have to think of it that way with public invites versus direct message invites. Direct message invites are more personal. People feel like they matter and that you're really meaning that to go to them, not just everybody else. So that is what's going to convert the most. That's what most of you guys was direct messages from me. And that's you sliding into their DMs, making those connections and making those, you know, and making the invitation. So that's either sending them an invitation like what we went over up here, or making a connection. Something on their page interests you. Girlfriend, I love that blouse. I am going on date night and I need that blouse. Where is it from? And then you starting a conversation from there. And then that brings us to the next one, the pivot. Has anybody else gotten into that route of like, I'm in this conversation, we're vibing, but I'm so scared to bring up coaching, or I'm so scared to bring up the boot camp because I don't want to lose this person, or I don't want to come off salesy, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. It's because you're afraid of the no. I listened to this podcast. It's like a multi-level marketing podcast, and he's all talking about like the pivot and changing from like talking about shoes to actually talking about the product that you're selling. And the reason why most people are scared about it is because they're afraid of no. They're afraid of that rejection. I say, expect it. People are going to say no before they're going to say yes. And most of y'all said no to me the first time, probably the second time. And then like the third time, I finally got you. And so it's the exact same scenarios. Like people are going to say no the first time or the second time because they're scared. They don't trust you yet. But that third, fourth, or fifth time, they're going to say yes. And so when you're talking to them and establishing that relationship, just be casual. If you feel awkward about it, if you feel icky about it, it's going to come across icky. But if you're talking to them just like you would a girlfriend, right? Like when you're with your girlfriends, you literally do not think twice about going and talking about shoes to talking about Beyonce. Like you don't, right? Like they do not go together. But if you're sitting there having cocktails with your girlfriends and y'all were talking about how much your shoes were hurting you, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm scrolling, Beyonce's got tickets. We got to go see Beyonce. Like, let's buy these tickets right now. We've already had a couple drinks. Let's just make this idea. Well, you just sold them that Beyonce ticket, but you didn't feel icky about moving the conversation from shoes to Beyonce, right? because you guys love Beyonce. It's the exact same thing with coaching. With the pivot, you just got to come from a place of love and a place of excitement, and it's not ever going to come across icky. So if you're sitting there talking about, your kids or anything like that, you can be like, yeah, girlfriend, like, oh my gosh, my child, she drove me bananas. I barely got in my 20-minute workout, but I was so thankful that my workout was 20 minutes because, God knows we only have 20 minutes. Or my dog literally would not let me alone for that 20-minute workout. And that's like, I thought 20 minutes was going to be good enough. But she was all up in my face licking me. You guys connect there and you've brought in fitness. And you'd be like, does your dog do the same? Or does your kids do the same? And they're like, oh, I'm not really working out, or I'm not really on this fitness journey right now. Girlfriend, why not? Let's chat about it. Have you seen my posts? And see, you just transition in a less icky way because you found a common denominator and made it into that, and you owned it with confidence. If you're afraid of the no, you're going to go into it with no already in mind. And that's already setting yourself up for failure. So if you're like, you know what, they're going to say no anyways, I might as well just bring it up. So then a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, it's going to be less awkward when I bring it up again when I have my next boot camp. So just pivot with already thinking no is the happening. I know so many of us are afraid of no, or we're getting no so many times, or, like it just feels so defeating. And I like no's. No is a challenge for me. No is a not right now. I take no as an opened door versus a closed door because y'all, I don't know about you, but if I reached out to somebody and they're like, yes, I'm ready to buy it. Sell it to me. Let's do this. I would be skeptical. I'd be like, do you not want to know like the price or like what this is or how it's going to benefit you or if I'm a mass murderer or something? Like, no. But if they say, no, not right now. Well, I'm like, okay, well, this person, at least they're going to be willing to talk to me because they said no, not right now. If they really weren't interested, they probably wouldn't respond. They'd just ghost me. But if they said, no, not right now, maybe they're open to conversating about why not. Are they on their own fitness journey? How is that going? Are they struggling with anything? Maybe they're struggling with their lack of energy. Okay, well, we got energized. Would you like some energized? So it's like just knowing that no is an open door versus a closed door is going to help you so much in this journey. All right, so wait. What about starting relationships, right? So we talked about the pivot. Now let's talk about the actual starting of that relationship. So we talked about the pivot that comes from building that relationship. Now we're going to go through that back end. So the first thing is get out of your own damn head. Seriously? I know so many coaches kill their dreams before it's ever even out there because of that person in their head saying that they're not enough, that this is stupid, that sending this invitation is a waste of time, that people don't give a fuck about what you have to say, that this is all in there. Get out of there. Nothing good ever happens in that place. We don't change in that place. We don't grow and evolve into these people that were meant to be in that place. So get out of your own head and know that you have something of value to give to these people, a freaking solution. We literally have results on a silver platter to hand to everybody. Nutrition, fitness, accountability, support, literally every single thing. Everything right here on the silver platter. Why are we not sharing it? Why are we not screaming it from the rooftop? It's because of what's in our head telling us that we're not enough, that this isn't good enough, that we're never going to be enough, that I'm not like this girl, I'm not like that girl, but you are if you just stop talking yourself out of it at the beginning. Can everybody just make sure they're muted? I don't know what that was. I have like really bad squirrel brain. And I'm just like, me, like squirrely. Okay, the second thing, be genuine. Y'all, people can sniff bullshit from a mile away. If you're talking about their shirt and you could give two shits about their shirt, people can sniff that bullshit. Or if you're talking about their kid and you really could give two shits about their kid, probably wouldn't talk about their kid or their dog or their cat or anything like that. Find something on their page that actually excites you. Maybe watch their stories. Did they say something funny that you literally laughed out loud? Reply to their stories. Start that conversation. Don't just start a conversation for the purpose of starting a conversation. Start it to actually get information, get to know them, make sure that you want to talk to them. I know so many people are just literally going around starting conversations left and right, but they could give two shits about that person, their goals, their dreams, their shirt, their dog, their family, whatever. They're just wanting to make a sale from them. Do not, and this goes into I'm just going to go straight to my fourth, go into the conversations without any expectations. Do not go into that conversation thinking, okay, I'm going to sell this person something, or I'm going to talk to them about Beachbody. Just go into it for the sake of talking to them, of getting to know them, of making that relationship. Y'all, social media. What is the first word in social media? Social. It's made to be social. It's not meant for us to be scrolling aimlessly watching people. It's made for us to interact, comment, like people's photos, reply to people's stories, and Instagram favors the people that actually do those things because it shows that they're using the platform for what the platform was created for. And that is for sharing. That is for socializing, to getting to know people. Y'all, we are so much in our little bubbles that sometimes we forget that, you know what? It's kind of cool to get to know people. Like, I would not know Jackie unless I talked to her, invited her. Or I would not know Chantel unless, Marissa invited her, or Michelle unless I invited her. Like, no, all of you were internet strangers except for Sarah. And, I'm kind of stuck with Sarah. But like every single one of y'all were internet strangers, and I wouldn't know you unless I kind of got out of my own head and talked to you, or I put myself out there on social media. You have to think, what did my coach do that prompted me to trust them enough with my money and to join them in this journey? So why do I want to do something different? If my coach invited me, well, then I have to invite other people. If my coach showed up on social media every single day and talked about it, well, then I need to show up on social media every single day and talk about it. Success leaves clues. And, it's just kind of like finding your groove and knowing what my upline did to be successful is what I can do. And it's what everybody else does. We show up on social media and we invite people to join us, and we just be us and genuine. And then, okay, we're going to go back up to step 3. And that's remember the 3-2-1 method. So the 3-2-1 method is what I like to do to start conversations. And what that is the 3 is liking 3 people's photos. So liking that person, going to that person's page and liking 3 of their photos. The 2 is leaving 2 genuine comments, not like nice shirt or like the poop emoji or like a regular emoji. Like, that's stupid. Don't do that. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but it is. We actually need to engage in these comments. Our goal is to get the back and forth going in the comments. So asking them a question, engage, leave genuine. I say at least a sentence, at least. So that's not like 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, but it's an actual sentence length. And then the third one, the 1, is to message them in their inbox. Further that conversation you had in the comments in their inbox, or say something in their inbox to prompt a conversation in there. So again, that's 3, like 3 of their photos, comment genuine on 2 of them, at least a sentence, and then 1 is message them, talk to them, start that relationship. All right, so we're going to get real on what it takes. Now, y'all know your girl Allie does not sugarcoat anything, do I? No, because y'all know I would eat that too. We're going through this whole we're going through this whole eating situation. So like literally if I sugarcoated anything, I would eat that too at this point. I did a split earlier, I think or what did I do it today? I did a split today, and I was like, literally the only splits I've done since high school are banana splits. So like I'm on a roll here. So let's like not sugarcoat or banana split anything, because you know me, I'd eat that too. So the first thing, doing the bare minimum will get you bare minimum results. So the bare minimum Beachbody asks you to do in the activity tracker is send 5 invites. Do you know what 5 invites is going to get you? Bare minimum results. You'll probably hit Success Club 2. That means you'll probably change 1 life a month, thus never getting your shakes paid for, thus being out money. I mean, you're not really out money because you're enjoying the shakes, but you know what I mean. Then you're really wasting your time, because those 5 conversations, especially if you're not following up and doing those things, are going to go nowhere. So be real with yourself on what it's going to take to achieve your goals. So what are your goals? Is your goal to hit Success Club 5? Is your goal to hit Success Club 10, 15, 20? Okay, so now we have a goal. Now let's get real on what it takes. I'm going to tell you what I do. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret, exactly what I do. And then you can be like, oh shit, I really don't want to do that, or I'm not ready to do that. Then you can kind of dial your goals accordingly. So every single day, I'm trying to actually pull it up here so I can show you guys. Where's my planner? There it is. Y'all, I love my iPad, I swear. So every single day, I have my to-do list here that literally goes, it's the exact same thing. It's just copy and pasted. So I do my personal development, my devotional, my workout. Then I send 60 invites every single day. 60. And was I able to do that at first every single day? No, I did not have enough people. But that is why it's so important to be growing your network alongside. And I will be going over below how to grow your network authentically. Then I send 60 follow-ups. So I have a follow-up system that I send 60 follow-ups. So people that told me no months ago, or people who told me maybe, I'm following up with them every single day. I mean, not you know what I mean? I'm following with people every single day. And so I write literally on my planner, this is from the last 2 days. Just the last 2 days, and this is what I've done. Y'all, that's like what it really takes. It's kind of the seriousness about this is if you're wanting to hit high numbers, like Success Club 40, Success Club 25, whatever, that's what it takes. Now, whenever my goal was, so I think, yeah, I was in a really bad funk. I hit Success Club 14. I was sending probably about 20 invites a day. And that's about what that is. So it's like, what's your goal? Are you wanting to hit Success Club 10? That means changing 5 lives. That means earning commission on free leads. That means a bunch of stuff. Okay, so if your goal is 5 people a day, let's kind of rewind it a little bit. So out of 20 invites that you send, statistically, 5% of those 20 invites are going to respond to you. So what's 5% of 20? That's like 5. I think you guys know I don't math. Does anybody here know math? We're just going to go with 5, whatever. And then the only face I can ever see, I see right now is Jackie's, and she's like, I'm out. Don't ask me. So we're going to go with 5. Okay, so out of those 5 people, so you've invited 20, 5% reply to you, so that's 5 people. So of those 5 people, statistically, at least 2 of them are going to already be working with coaches already doing Beachbody. That means you have 3 people that have responded. 1 of them is going to respond not interested. That means out of those 20 people that you send, 2 of them are going to respond interested. 1 of them's not going to respond to your second invite message. You're going to ask them about themselves and all this. They're going to say, oh, nope, skirt. I'm just kidding. Not interested. So that means out of that person, out of those 20 invites, you have 1 person that's interested. That 1 person is going to take 60 days to turn around. 30 to 60 days. Some won't, some will. So it's the kind of middleman is about 30 days for that 1 person to convert to a sale. So that's kind of like statistically, if you're sending 20 messages, that's going to get you to Success Club 10. And so that's kind of just how you want to look at it. 20 messages, 10 times. I like to break it down into weeks. So my week goal, and then I will send some more one day and then some less one day. So if you work a very demanding job or a job that's very unpredictable, so maybe your job is like a server, or maybe you work at like a salon or something like that, or, a spa, then maybe you work really long some days and then really short some days. So then on those really long days, you're sending less invites. So you're compensating and doing more on the shorter days. This does not have to be a one size fits all. Some people work good on sending invites one day, follow-ups the next day, invites one day, follow-ups the next day. And so it all just depends on the vibe and the flow that works best with you and your schedule. So my second thing is, how many invites are you comfortable sending? All right, I want everybody to put it in the comments. How many invites do you feel like you're comfortable sending right now that you're like, okay, this is my comfort zone. This is how many I'm comfortable sending every single day. I'll wait. 20. 15. Damn, Melissa, going there for the kill, aren't you? All right, so we got 20, 15, 50, 20, 15, 10 to 15, 5. Today was my first day, LOL. Okay, so now I'm going to say something. That is what you're comfortable sending. Nothing is going to happen right there. Nothing is going to happen as long as you're staying in your comfort zone. Are those invites great? Yes, they're amazing. But as long as you're saying, well, I'm comfortable doing 5, or I'm comfortable doing 10 or 15. It's when we stretch ourselves and kind of get ourselves out of our comfort zone is when that changes. So if you're comfortable sending 20, great, send 40. That's stretching yourself. And then if you only send 35, that's more than you would have sent if you would have done 20 in your comfort zone. So many of us set goals, right? We're like, okay, my goal is 10 invites, but I really want to do 20 invites, but if I send 10, I'm okay with that. 10 times out of 10, you're going to stop at the 10 invites, right? Like if you're saying my goal is 20, but I'm okay at 10, you're 10 times out of 10, you're going to stop at 10. So your goal needs to be the one that kind of scares you, kind of stretches you, kind of makes you want to throw up, because those are the goals that are really going to change you and really going to develop in your business. I will tell you what it took me to get to Diamond. Whenever I was shooting for Diamond, I went Emerald the 15th, and then Diamond 8 days later, I was sending a shit ton of invites for that hustle season. And so it's just all depends on the seasons that we're in. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying this to kind of be like, well, I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. I'm just kind of letting you know that it depends on the seasons that you're in, on how many invites that you send or how many connections you make. But you know that the invite, that these 50, these 25 do not only have to come from the direct message invites, right? They can also come from the call to actions, the public invites, the pivots, so the connections. They do not only have to be the DMs. So they can be a combination of all of them. And so when you think of it like that, it's a little less scary, right? Like, okay, I'm going to send a public invite. Then I'm going to start making conversations with those people that I publicly invited. And so there's a ton of invites right there because I'm just chatting with people. Every invite does not have to be sent with the intention of making a sale. It only has to be sent with the intention of getting to know somebody and making that connection. So my goal for you guys is to stretch yourself. Maybe not double, but maybe add 5, add 10. Stretch yourself a little bit, but just knowing and being realistic with what your goals are and how that's going to kind of go along with it. Okay, so let's go here. So growing your Instagram for beginners. So that's all on inviting and everything like that. Does anybody have any questions on the inviting portion before we go on? Perfect. I want to aim to do at least 40 a day. So you're saying you want to aim to do at least 40. Perfect. So I would never put your 20. 40 is your goal. Don't ever settle for 20. Perfect. All right. So does anybody have any questions about inviting before I move on? Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay, if you do, just put them in the chat and then I will come on afterwards. Okay, so growing your Instagram for beginners. This is exactly how I grew my Instagram in the beginning, and then I'm also going to teach you some other ways that I'm doing it now. So the first thing is searching hashtags. I do not promote searching hashtags. It's time consuming. Your everyday average Karen that is your person is not going to be hashtagging. How many of us used hashtags, fitness related hashtags, or all these like crazy hashtags when we were just posting sweaty selfies of ourselves, or we're just posting pictures of our dog, right? None of us. If we used a hashtag when we were posting pictures of our dog, it was like hashtag obsessed with my dog forever and always. Or like some stupid shit like that literally you're the only person hashtagging. Can I get an amen? Because that was me. And so doing hashtags where they are, you can grow that way. People will find you that way, are not the best source to be growing your network because it's going to take a lot more time. And then you're going to get to this point where like all I see are coaches. Like literally, I feel like all Instagram is Beachbody coaches. I can't find anybody. usually it's because of where you're looking. So if you are going to search hashtags, search out of the box, unfitness related hashtags. Maybe, like if you're a dog mom, well, are you a German Shepherd dog mom? Okay, so search like German Shepherd hashtags, not dog mom, just like German Shepherd or GSD or whatever. Maybe you're into like hiking. Okay, well then look at different hiking, hashtags or something like that. Something that's in your niche. And, your niche is your 5 things. What are those 5 things that describe you? Me, margaritas, alky. I'm an alky over here. Dunkin', we all know this. Old Navy, somehow that's become one of my things. Mom, fitness, and then I actually have 6 because I'm a business owner and entrepreneur. So like those are my 6 things. Dog mom's really becoming one now that I got this puppy because everybody's obsessed with Harper, even though she's like the most obnoxious thing ever. Like I literally got 3 emails today, people asking like, oh, do you want to try these doggy biscuits for your dog? And I'm like, how the fuck did you even know I had a dog? Like, Harper's annoying, but she keeps making her face shown, and then people just keep asking. But, just finding what works for you. I'm sure Jackie is saying something right now because I just look like she I knew she was. But yeah, so like whatever describes you. So if you're like into Old Navy like I am, I looked at Old Navy hashtags all the time. And so just kind of like whatever your thing is. So what or who do you like? That's my favorite way to grow. So like if you're obsessed with The Bachelor, right? Like you're Batch Nation, like you're Sarah and you've got to get your Bachelor fix, because if you don't get your Bachelor fix, you are just not a happy camper and nobody wants to deal with you without your wine or Bachelor. Okay, so then you go to like Chris Harrison's page and start following their followers. Because 1, you obviously already know that you have something in common, right? The Bachelor. The second thing is some of their profiles are going to be private. Some of them are going to be regular. They're not using that for intentions of growing a business. They just care about The Bachelor like you do. So follow them and then they'll follow you back because you guys have this common interest. So you already know that you guys like one thing. There's a likelihood that you guys will like more things, like Starbucks and Target and Ugg boots and being basic, like whatever. It's just, whatever Bachelor people like. So if you're like Old Navy, go to Old Navy, whatever floats your boat. I am being really shady over here. I've got, it's kind of shady in here, right? I feel attacked. I'm not sure how Old Navy became my favorite quote from Allie. But yeah, so like, I can't with y'all. So yeah, so like what or who, and go follow their followers. That was my favorite method at the beginning. And y'all, I grew very quickly with this because I would follow 50 people a day. And you're like, oh my God, 50 people a day, that is a lot. But if you are on a page that's really good, it is so easy to hit follow. Oh my gosh, that's 50. Okay, I'm done. I can do 50 more, right? But if you do more than 50 in an hour, Instagram will shut you down. So that's a cue. No more than 50 an hour. Or Instagram will say F you and block everything from you. And then once they follow you back, right? So I use a followers app to see who's following me back. So once they follow me back, I will go and do the 3, 2, 1 method with every single one of them at the beginning. So I will go like their first 3 photos, leave a comment on 2 of them, and literally don't be creepy, just a genuine comment, and then send them a genuine, engaging message. The 3, 2, 1 method. That I would only do on the ones that followed me back. So I would mass follow a bunch of people, and then whoever followed me back, I would go do the 3, 2, 1 and start establishing a relationship with those people. Any of the ones that don't follow me back, I would unfollow. And this is my sample follow and follow schedule that I did for the first 6 months of my business. So Monday through Friday, I would follow 100 people. Again, I would break that up. I wouldn't sit there and do it all in 1 hour because Instagram will block you, but I would do like 50 in the morning, 50 in the evening, or I would do like 25 here, 25 there. Or like I'm sitting on the shitter when I normally would be like scrolling Instagram, I would be following people. You know what I mean? Like just being intentional with my time. So Monday through Friday, I would follow 100 people. Then Saturday, I would still engage. That Saturday is usually when I would do my 3-2-1 method on everybody that's already followed me that week. I would engage, like, comment on people's stuff, but I wouldn't follow anybody. And then on Sunday, I would go back and everybody who did not follow me, I would unfollow them. And then I would start that all over again. So it got really into a good flow, Monday through Friday. Following Saturday, I got to do all my 3-2-1 methods without having to think about following anything like that. So I wouldn't do them throughout the week. And then I would go, and then on Sunday, as I'm sitting there watching, you know, like 90 Day Fiance or Married at First Sight, those are my shows. Then I would just like unfollow people. So that's like my sample follow and follow. But y'all, growing your Instagram is really not that difficult. You just have to, one, do intentionality, but then also make sure you are showing up. Because I don't even want to know what's going on in that chat right now. Make sure that you are showing up, because if you're not showing up, people are going to look at your page and be like, well, who the fuck is this? No, I'm not following them. So make sure, one, that you're working on your Instagram, making sure that it's aesthetically pleasing and that you're showing up consistently. Would you follow 100 people a day or for the week? Now we know the key to success, the shitter. I would follow 100 people a day, but I wouldn't do it all at like one time because that's super overwhelming to me. I always just broke things up. So whenever I was working full time and doing this, I would never sit there and like invite 60 people or sit there and like follow people or sit there and like reply to all my messages, because I would never have that much time. So I would always just kind of break it off, and I set alarms on my phone. So I would set like a 20-minute alarm. Okay, 20 minutes, I'm following people, and okay, great. That's done, that 20 minutes. Now 20 minutes, I'm going to send messages. Okay, that's done. 20 minutes, I'm going to invite people. And so I would just kind of work on 20-minute increment times and kind of work against that clock to make sure I'm intentional, but also not getting burnt out. Because if I would sit there and send 60 invites at one time, I get super burnt out. And I am a very firm believer in, if your vibe is like negative when you're sending the invites, or if your vibe is like, I don't really want to fucking do this, then it goes over on that message. Like, I don't know why, but if I'm in a good mood, like I just jumped on my trampoline and listened to some Beyonce, I get so many more responses than if I'm sitting there and my daughter's yelling and crying and I'm just trying to get them done, and like my dog's about to shit on the floor or something. Like, I get a lot more responses. So take that as what you will. But how do you balance the followers versus the following? So for a week, I would only, so out of those 100 that I would follow every single day, so that's 500 a week, I would probably only get roughly about 50 to 75 follows back. So from those 50 to 75 is when I would do the 3-2-1 method. So that would just be all my invites for that one day, is that 3-2-1 method on that one day for all those people. And that's just kind of how I balanced it. Out of all those 500 people that you follow, some of them are going to accept your request. Some of them are going to follow you back. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. Again, it's like the invites, only about 25% of them are going to follow you back. Like 25% of them are going to message you back. And so that's kind of how I balanced it. Back then, I just kind of steadily grow. There's not really any like, hello, growth spurt. All right, so the dirty deets on hashtags. So when you use, I like hashtags. They're free. They're a way to be seen. But again, a lot of people misuse hashtags. So the hashtags I like to think of as like, who are you and who are you speaking to? Again, your 5 things. What is your page about? What interests you, and who are you speaking to? Who are the other Michelles, Chantels, Jackies, Sarahs? Who are the other yous of the world? And what would they be kind of looking at hashtags for? So then do not use the same hashtags over and over and over again. So like I have different hashtags for like my mom posts, different hashtags for my before and afters, for my self-love ones, just different little hashtag sets. Because if we use the same hashtags over and over again, and if we use the same 30, because Instagram allows 30. Instagram will think you're doing it for selling, and they don't want you to sell on Instagram for some reason. So they'll end up shadow banning you, and you don't want them to shadow ban you because you won't know what's happening. Just nobody will be able to find you. So you want to use hashtags that have under 100,000 people using them. That means you're going to have the likelihood of being exposed longer. If you're using a hashtag that has over 50,000 or has over 5 million or 200,000 or whatever, you're a very small fish in a big pond. And so you're not going to have the very unlikelihood of being seen for very long. You're going to post it and then somebody's going to outbeat you. So if you're having less people to compete with, but still a hashtag that's relevant enough, you're going to have exposure for longer. 15 to 20 hashtags is about the sweet spot. Again, you don't want to use the whole 30. And then you can use a website called displaypurposes.com to help you generate useful hashtags. I recommend a list of 30 or having those different types so you can interchange them. Here are a big don't. Do not hashtag Beachbody. Do not hashtag Shakeology, Energize, Transform 20, Morning Meltdown. Don't hashtag anything related with Beachbody, because the only people that are searching Beachbody hashtags are other Beachbody coaches or other Beachbody goers. And then you're going to gain followers that are already with Beachbody, and you're going to be beating your head against the wall saying, how the fuck do I find somebody that's not with Beachbody? It's usually in your hashtags. Don't hashtag things like Fit Mom or Fitspo or Fitspiration, because then you're going to get those bodybuilders that are literally just spamming you to grow. Use the hashtags that are relevant to you. Again, like the GSD, or, like if you talk a lot about your German Shepherd or your dogs or whatever the case may be, that aren't used for people to be spammy. Of course, there's going to be spamminess, but using the hashtags like Fitspiration or Transformation Tuesday or Beachbody or something like that aren't going to yield you the results that you're looking for. All right, so here are apps that can help you with your Instagram following. So Captivate is what I use right now. It is an iPhone app. It basically does where is it at? I don't know where it went, growing. It basically does the going to somebody's page like Chris Harrison's and following his followers for you. You'll go to like Chris Harrison's page and mass select everybody, and this app will follow all those people for you. There's a really good tutorial on YouTube. Just YouTube how to use Captivate. It does cost, but it's super cheap. Like it saved me tons of money. Cleaner is what I use to clear out all the people that did not follow me back. Followers is how I saw like new followers versus people who have unfollowed me, so that I could send messages. And STEM Social is a website that you pay $19.95 or up a month, and you'll give them your target audience, and they'll go and follow people and unfollow and do all the work for you. I wouldn't recommend STEM. They're a little sketchy right now. I used them for a while, but then they got really unreliable, but they're there nevertheless. Okay, so homework. So establish your different list of hashtags. So establish your list for your transformations, for your workouts, for your motivation, whatever branding you use, establish your hashtags for that. Grab a notebook and invite whatever number made you feel uncomfortable. It says 60 here, but if your number was 10, I'm not asking you to do 60 right now. I'm just asking you to do like 15. Just something that makes you feel a little uncomfortable. And then go and follow 100 people. Find people and follow them. Start growing your network. Start getting to know people that you wouldn't know nevertheless. And then do the 3-2 method for 20 people. Maybe 20 new followers that you've already gotten. Maybe 20 people that are following you back from this 100. But go and establish relationships with 20 people. So that is your homework. And I expect you to do it and post in the team page when you did it. Post a picture of your notebook. Let me know so I can celebrate the crap out of you for actually doing your homework, because we're all good students here, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. Does anybody have any question? Wait, what's wrong with people who eat McDonald's? What are y'all even talking about? How do you balance your followers? Is it wrong that I just looked up Domino's and McDonald's and followers to check if they have Jenny? Oh my gosh. You're fucked up. McDonald's fries are the shit. They are the shit. But Jackie can't go to McDonald's right now. Jesus fries, Chick-fil-A. Where's Charmaine when I need her? I'm still blocked on Instagram, so I can't follow anyone. Katie, how long has it been? I feel like you've been blocked forever.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going on day 5, and I'm so frustrated. People are
usually it's about day 5.
Can't respond to anybody.
Usually about day 5 is when it ends. So check tomorrow because it's usually like a 5-day suspension.
I'm like, what? I'm using Captivate, so I have it set, so it's not over.
Okay, are you doing following and unfollowing with Captivate?
I'm using the exact apps you're using. I use for my unfollow, I use
Cleaner.
Cleaner, yep. And then
are you manually following people? Like, are you manually following people along with?
Yes, I also do that. Yeah.
Do not do that.
Okay.
That is why it's happening, because you think Captivate's already doing the maximum number to go below the radar to where Instagram won't block you. But if you're doing both at the same time, I did this with Sim Social, and I also got in Instagram jail, so don't feel bad. But Instagram will see that it's coming from multiple places, and they're going to be like, oh no, she's using other things, she's doing too much, so they're going to cancel you. So yes, do just the one. So if you're going to do it by yourself, just do it by yourself. But if you're going to use Captivate, just use Captivate, because Captivate's already got it set to the direct amount of people that can be over the span of time. So when you're, so the only thing you manually should be doing is inviting people and making messages and stuff like that. Okay.
Okay, good to know. Because I even was like Googling tonight on my way home from work. I'm like Googling. My daughter was driving, by the way, but I was Googling on my phone. I'm like, how do I like get unblocked? And everything I was reading, there's people are like, you're pretty much screwed because you can send emails, you can call this number, but usually you're not going to get any kind of response. So I was going to cry tonight because I'm like, oh, I'm finally up to 500 followers and I'm going to have to start a brand new page again.
Do not cry. You're going to be unblocked, but it's just a hard lesson to learn to don't do both of them. But I'm glad I asked that question, so you know now.
Okay. All right, thanks. Now I want to go to McDonald's and eat all the fries. So I feel
well, let's not go to McDonald's and eat all the fries. I'm on a cleanse right now, and I really could love to go.
Right.
My husband.
I'm supporting you, so I will not eat the fries then. I'm sorry.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions about inviting or growing before we head on?
For the 3-2-1, Allie, you said that you did it just one day a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would do it only on Saturdays. So all of the people that like followed me back, I would just do that on Saturdays.
Cool.
Because it was just too stressful to like, oh, did I already do it for this person? Did I already do it for this person? So I like simplicity. So I just one day. But yeah, so just one day. Does anybody else have any questions? If you don't, turn your cameras on so I can get a picture, and then we'll head on. Sarah, get that bougie ass Starbucks cup down, you little. You're missing your bachelor right now, aren't you?
I don't think it came on this week.
Oh, that's why you're actually on the team call. That's cool.
Sorry, Al.
All right.
To just miss it.
Smile. Perfect. All right. I love y'all. Get your asses to inviting and let's crush it. It is the 10th of the month. There's no reason every single one of y'all can't hit Success Club or go Emerald so you can be in the Diamond Mentorship. Remember, I will be posting the application tomorrow. So if you're interested in doing that mentorship, getting that additional training, just know that you have to be a paid Emerald to apply. And I will be picking 5 applications to take along this mentorship. So with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.